Okay, so here is a map of the boroughs of New York City, and can you find Manhattan? Point to it on the map. Manhattan. Okay, so here are a few other maps that date back to over 500. There were a group of people that inhabited the Lenape Native Americans, and they named this land Mannahatta, which means land of the rolling hills. And they used a lot of the natural resources like wood and water and animals to help them survive. And if we fast forward over 100 years later, to the year 1664, another group of people arrived, the Dutch settlers that came from Holland. And they created a town here, which they called New Amsterdam. And they also used items from the wilderness to help them build houses by the river. So take a look at this next map of New Amsterdam. What is the same and what is different about the land? Press pause. And lastly, if we fast forward a couple hundred years later, now we call this land Manhattan. And the map looks pretty different, doesn't it? It's a lot busier. There are different neighborhoods, different landmarks. I see Times Square over here. And running through the city, we have lots of subway lines, lots of people. And instead of these shorter homes that the Dutch settlers built, we all know that Manhattan is known for its tall skyscrapers. Now, a lot of people call Manhattan a melting pot, and that means that there are many different cultures, different religions, different languages, and different races all in this one place. And that's something special because so many of the people here in Manhattan come from different backgrounds. Now, these are two maps that show you different things. This map here shows you some of the different languages that are spoken across New York City. Polish and Greek, Chinese and French and Korean, so many different languages. In fact, there's close to 800 languages in the different neighborhoods. This other map shows the different races of people that are living here. What are you learning about the different races and languages in our borough, Manhattan? Here's Manhattan up here. Press pause, say what you notice. All right, let's take a walk through some famous landmarks in Manhattan. Here's Grand Central Terminal, located on 42nd Street and Park Avenue, one of the busiest train stations in the world. Every day, over 200,000 people commute through here to get home, to get to work, to get to school. Here's Times Square, thumbs up if you've been here before. Brightly filled with billboards and ads. Sometimes people call Times Square the heart of the world, one of the busiest places in Manhattan, one of the biggest tourist attractions. 50 million visitors come to Times Square every year, and this is where the ball drops on New Year's Eve. Here's Central Park, biggest park in Manhattan, ranges 50 city blocks. Have you ever been to the Museum of Natural History? Did you visit the dinosaurs? How about the planetarium? It opened in 1869. Here's the Metropolitan Museum of Art, or you might know it as the Met. Lots of different art exhibits for you to explore. And another museum of art called the MoMA, Modern Museum of Art. One of the world's finest collections of modern and contemporary art are all housed here. The Lincoln Center for Performing Arts. If you've ever heard of the Nutcracker, that's performed here. We also have the Opera House. Madison Square Garden. You can come here to see a concert, to see a basketball game, or to see a hockey game. The Empire State Building. So the Empire State Building is currently the 5th tallest skyscraper in the U.S., the 25th tallest in the world, located on 34th Street and 5th Avenue, and you may have noticed at night they light up the Empire State Building different colors. Have you ever been to the High Line? The High Line is a raised railroad line transformed into a park on Manhattan's west side. It is owned by the City of New York and operated by the Friends of the High Line. You can take a walk here, have a picnic. It's an above-ground park. Let's see if you can find some of these landmarks on the map of Manhattan. Press pause.